Yeah, so hey, yeah, just going through, noticing a couple people talking about Iron Mouse's song "Cry for Me" and all that. Um, at least this guy Hutchin plays is able to differentiate. Hey, I didn't really like this. I don't really prefer some of this stuff. He also doesn't know everything about Booby being involved in the songs, so he's got a little confusion with that. But he's at least able to keep it differentiated between making arguments about the actual value of a song, which is not a personal preference thing. It's an analysis. And, you get people like Black Boy Max that just don't really know what they're talking about. He's from a whole different world of music, and then he wants to argue that Iron Mouse uses voice changers and all this other stuff. Same thing with, sorry, I have to move over here because my webcam is blocking being able to click on stuff. Whoever this guy is, Baralaki. Notice, first of all, satire content contains exaggerated jokes and sarcasm. Hold on, it's not meant to be taken seriously. Just have some fun. Isn't that so funny how it's those people that are completely disrespectful to somebody else? Sarcasm truly is one of the greatest get-out-of-jail-free cards that the internet's developed. Same thing with arguing something is cringe, which is more than just saying, hey, I didn't really like it, or I felt a little uncomfortable listening to it because it's not my style. No, cringe implies this is lesser quality. And of course, everyone just uses that so flippantly, when really the issue is, for a guy like this, who seems like a pretty despicable person, I'm just going to say, that's all the content he makes, insulting other people. He did the same thing with Maury Calliope. I'm sitting there, oh, for the Iron Mouse goons, please have mercy. I'm just a silly guy. Yeah, it sounds kind of gross, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Because people like that don't care. They just want what they want, which is, hey, I'm getting money criticizing other people. And as one of his commenters pointed out, having a very parasocial relationship. If you don't like something that I don't like, then we're going to group together and be like, yeah, this person sucks. Yeah, we're going to argue it's bad. She makes bad music. No, by no stretch of the imagination is Iron Mouse a bad artist. If you don't like it and say, I don't really like this song, well, that's not as clickbaity. So I get it. But there is a big difference between witty sarcasm, having a little bit of dry humor, and just being an asshole. Anyway, that's my grievances with people like that. I have literally been sitting on that powder keg of emotion for months because I know that depending on who you talk to on the internet, you're just, you're going to run yourself into the ground by speaking up about something. But also it physically hurts me to act like I'm the bad guy for saying, hey, stop being a jerk and go listen to something that you do like. How about that? I don't like Taylor Swift. I don't like fusion jazz music. I'm not going onto Taylor's page going, hey, you suck. I'm not criticizing all her fans saying, hey, why do you like such dumb music? No, I don't care. It's literally not important to me. Yeah, I kind of feel grossed out a little bit every time I hear Fearless in a department store. I'm like, why? But it doesn't benefit anybody at the end of the day to go on the attack. So I don't get people like Balakamaki, whatever the heck his name is. I don't get him. I don't. And I feel like I need to say that. Now, for the rest of you, how's it going, everybody? It's your boy Roar. Iron Mouse just came out with a cover of Aishite Aishite Aishite. Now, I have heard Michi cover it, and Michi doesn't have as vibrant of a voice as Iron Mouse and Narissa, but I've also heard Narissa. I don't even think there was a way to differentiate the two. What I mean by that is both of them had their own energy to it, which was incredible. Obviously, Narissa just went all over the place, incredible voice, and, did very well, and I'm sure Iron Mouse is going to do the same. But Michi had her own crazy energy to it, and also the visuals that she had for the video was pretty cool too. So I am very curious to see how Iron Mouse delivers on this. I mean, obviously she's going to do well. It's just a question of how, what's going to happen. Let's go. I still think that part of the instrumentation that goes like that is very spooky. It immediately gets you unsettled. Oh, okay. This. Okay, so obviously all the verses, she's doing very well with it, of course. I'm always looking at that first part where it's like da 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 da. It's just spooky. And if you know the lyrics of the song, it's basically like this poor girl just she feels so lost in being being okay with herself. She has these issues of perfectionism. She has these issues of trying to understand who she is and where she can find love. And she just kind of gets into these very unhealthy relationships where she's like, I just want love. I'll do literally anything to feel like I have connection. And I'll push myself as far as I have to. And then when that fails, I'll just abandon the structure that maybe was forced on me by like family and expectations of others and just kind of do whatever. And it's so sad to me. It's because there's so many people that happens to. You ascribe your worth and value to your accomplishments. I did that with my previous job. I worked as a behavior technician for special needs kids for almost a decade. And it's grating after a while, even though there's so many positives of a job like that. And every time you have a good day and little Johnny is, listening to you and you're able to accomplish things, they're able to, tie their shoes for the first time or something. It's like, oh yes, this is amazing. But dude, the emotion of it just drains you in so many ways. So when I left that field, right, I didn't realize how much I figured that my worth was tied to that. Because when I was in my other job, like any time, I was waving to a kid or something, I was like, oh, that's not my job anymore. Why am I doing this? And I realized like, wow, I didn't know. I thought that was my whole worth and value as a person, was being a teacher. But it was crazy. Anyway, yeah, crazy song. And Iron Mouse is doing a great job covering this. Now I will shut up by drinking coffee. Ooh, lay. Like, ooh, that part. That's always because I think that's where the switch happens lyrically as well, where you can tell she's just kind of unbridled with, or not unbridled, just going crazy with like, yes, this is what I want. That's another thing I love about her vocal control, which no one on the greater Twitterverse looking at Cry For Me really gave a fuck about, which just, I'm sorry for swearing. I just sat there like, how are so many of you uneducated about singing, yet you all want to argue that she sucks at it? How? What is your metric? Like, it's gotta be good to just know that you can say whatever nonsense you want and you're always going to have people supporting you. That's gotta feel like money in the bank. Knowing that you can have a career being an uneducated prick and make bank off of it. That's gotta mean a lot. That's gotta be really cool if you're an insufferable person. I've just never understood the value of that because it seems too easy. It seems too easy to be like, yeah, I don't get, why does she sing that? She probably has her voice changer on. I just saw a comment on that on another video. Are we still so uneducated? We still think that stuff works. We still think that is completely logical. Are you kidding me, people? Were we not around during the years of T-Pain? And we understood a little bit that you can't auto-tune someone into singing perfectly. That's not how the technology works. It never works that way. Dragon Force actually plays their music on the guitar. Watch freaking, what's his name? I totally forgot the dude's name. The lead guitarist of Dragon Force. He streams where he plays the guitar. Live. He's doing it live. He's incredible. There's actual talent. Why do people think Oh, I don't know anything about this, so I'm going to make up something, and I know I'm right. I don't get it. Meanwhile, I'm looking at her breath control and how that conveys so much of the emotion of the song, and I'm sitting there like, geez, this is already on Narissa's level of singing. You know what you also guys need to do is you need to check out the whatever it's called, the song related to Expedition 33 that Ironmouse, Narissa, and Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame covered. It will give you chills if you care anything about music and singing at all. Okay? 3 exceptionally talented ladies who have this whole orchestral soprano type stuff down, covering an incredible song in Expedition 33. I mean, come on, folks. Just open your mind for half a second. I've even done that with experimental jazz. I don't like it. I like 4/4 music. I don't understand how jazz can just be all over the place. It sounds like noise. Yet I also like listening to harsh noise metal music. So where's my disconnect? I make the point to be like, I want to understand this, even if I don't like it. Same thing with Taylor Swift. I tried listening to all of her albums. I got about halfway through and I was like, I can't. That's okay. I still think she's a very talented artist and, cool. Anyway. There it was. Da da da. I didn't warm up my voice. Da 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 da. Like just those slides. It's something we talked a little bit about with when you're doing certain vocal inflections, sliding up to a note. I forgot who the lady was, but she's a French VTuber. We just checked out one of her original songs. She did this very good scoop with her voice. And there's a way to do that where it sounds like you are totally in control of your voice. The rest of the time, it sounds like you're just trying to hit that note. You're trying to get on top of that note, and you can't. So you're kind of sliding around like, there we go. So for her to go up and down with hitting those notes and having that aggressive tone in her voice is just so incredible. I don't know the terminology besides that. I'm no, trained vocalist. I've been around a lot of vocalists and listened to a lot of music. So anyway, incredible job on that. I want to just go back to the chorus here. Oh, yeah. I already talked about that. Lay. It's so spooky. Wow, she just punched for it immediately. Dude. One other thing I will say, absolutely incredible choreography. There's way too many times that choreography does one of two things. You're either stationary from the waist down pretty much, you're not really moving very much, you're doing mostly hand stuff. Even the little leg kick that they had when you're moving back and forth, that just shows a lot more cognizance of mobility and ways to move yourself around. I've seen way too many dance crews, especially, just kind of walk to position. And then we do a little hand thing where we're coordinating it together, and then we walk over here. But I've seen solo artists do that all the time as well. So for her to... Now I know that the motion was done by a different person because she can't move, of course. So it's just her expressions and her voice being conveyed on this model, which is absolutely insane if you think about it technology-wise. Having something move and then you still control the face and you're still controlling that motion, that's really, really something. But yeah, little things like that, choreography speaking, is really, really next level with understanding how to utilize the space. And it's not like she has to run all back and forth across the stage. I think that can take away from it as well. But to really utilize all of your limbs in a fluid a way like that is very, very next level. Whoever did the choreography for it is very, very good. So, and also for people who really think that a voice changer is what she uses, how in the hell can you hit a note like that with a voice changer? I really want someone to explain it to me. How? without it going all over the place and sounding very scratchy and dissonant? How? Have any of you ever used a voice changer? I mean, really, though. Actually, I think probably the better question, because most people have Steam Decks, can you even remotely hit this note? Because if you could, then maybe you'd have some credence in what you're saying. But that's not how any of that works anyway. Just saying. Just asking a question. It's sarcasm. Excuse me. Yeah, dun-ga-dun-ga-dun. Dun-ga-dun-ga-dun-ga-dun. It's just how they do the instrumentation. I need to know who did the instrumentation for Aishite Aishite, because it's so dissonant and unnerving, because it sounds like it's mostly all these child instruments, like freaking xylophones and little clicky blocks and like all these other things, dude. The little runs with the xylophone, like that's unnerving. It just feels so playful and unserious amid these very tragic lyrics of someone losing their mind because they're trying to fit in and find love. It's so horrible. Because like at the end, doesn't she talk to both her parents and then be like, I'm so sorry? Like she can't even control it anymore. Like it's not even my choice anymore. I'm going to devolve into these horrible things because it's what I want, or something like that. Ugh, it just, ugh. Incredible song. I just kind of wonder about someone's headspace when they write something like that. I'm just saying. Please comment below. Let me know. Ooh, the doubling in the background going even higher. I don't know off the top of my head if that was a fifth or an octave difference right there. You can hear a little bit of strain in that. So, I mean, it's higher up, of course. Wow. That's insane. That just makes me think of Music Box of Fate when she was hitting those really, really high notes. Woo! Yeah, it sounds like an octave over. But here's the funny thing about it is normally when you really strain your voice outside of the range that you can comfortably hit, your voice is going to sound flat because you're really having to compress your vocal cords to try and hit that note so you can try and hit it out, but it's not going to be as loud and projecting as, if you are in a range that you're comfortable with. But aside from it sounding a little nasally, and I'm not saying nasally like she's in her head voice or whatever, it still sounds like she's just punching it, dude. So I guess I really wish I could figure out. I'm sure she's had someone sit down with her and like look over her range and stuff. I wonder what her comfortable range is. Now, that wouldn't help me anything because I don't have a piano in front of me, so I can't plink it out, but that would be really fascinating to look at. There it is. Komedasai. But then there was also that doubling on top of it that was just very like, I'm sorry. Like, ooh, I don't like that. That makes me uncomfortable. Yeah, you want to talk about something that makes you uncomfortable. It's the incredible emotion of a song like this that is just unapologetically dark. Oh, not someone's voice like Booby. Come on. That makes y'all uncomfortable? Come on, chill. The wide eyes. There. Ooh. So, okay, so we get the little there at the end, but also I can't hit any of these notes, so it's going to sound shitty, but yeah. Da, 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 da. Like we saw in one of the previous choruses that she hit that note just ba, 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 whatever, but she's kind of adding this little like into that, this little scoop up to that note. And that just, for me, if you are actually singing like well and you're trying to add the emotion to it, it's you're kind of grading into that note, right? And I feel like if I spoke Japanese or if I had the lyrics here in front of me, I would feel a lot more so connected to the lyrics, because hey, we got this one note that really has this punctual feeling that we want to drive home. Boom, we're grinding into that. Like that would be something. And I'm sure it is. I don't feel like I can do a one-to-one comparison with that right now, but just, oh my gosh, such an incredible bit of emotion there for that part of the song. Ugh. Oh, and they're just going with the choreography. Just boom, boom, boom. Nice. So returning back to that position where you started, it kind of also makes me think, in light of the more childish, cutesy instruments used in the instrumentation, that it feels very doll-like how she's presenting herself like that, which I feel like, being a doll, kind of being played with, toyed with, that ties into some of the emotion, the lyrics of the song as well. Just crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. Kind of weird that anyone would hate her. I've never understood it. I mean, even someone hating someone like Taylor Swift, someone who I thoroughly think wastes her talent on really simplistic lyrics and songwriting. I think she's exceptionally talented. I think she just wastes that talent on really garbage, bottom of the barrel, easy on the ears type music. I think there's so much more that she could be doing, but I'm not sitting there being like, well, I hate her because whatever. I don't care. I don't get it. Anyway, yeah, type made it in the comments if you guys are at the end of this video. I'm sorry for rambling. I just don't really feel like giving a damn about people just hating on her anymore. And I hate the fact that, depending on who you talk to, we're not allowed to talk about it. I'm sorry. I have every right to talk about it, and I'm going to. Anyway, we're going to move on to other things. Please go support ironmouse, though. And if you like this song, you should check out Cry For Me. And it's a lot better than what half of the internet thinks. They're just morons. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Thanks for watching.